Good morning, Wildcat Nation. This is Wildcat Morning. This is Will Worsham, not Keaton Garrett. Tom Baker's joining me this morning. I did not communicate well with my sidekick, Keaton. So he showed up yesterday to do a show when I was unavailable, so we didn't get to do a show. And then he texted me this morning and said, "Are we doing a show today?" And I just saw it a few minutes ago, and I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, I can't make it now," which I totally understand. But we are, I think, clear for tomorrow. Keaton will be back, but we're grateful to have Tom with us this morning. He just happened to be here taking a nap this morning.
I was lounging on the couch this morning.
We have a couch. I think that's the takeaway.
It is.
We have a couch. We're going to use it as a set one of these days, right? Like
yeah.
We'll have like the man view. I don't know what we'll do.
Yeah, we need to do something with that
couch.
We
do need to do something with that couch.
Do some chill talking on it. It might be I don't know. Might be a completely different setup than sitting in a couple chairs. You know,
it could. We're going to have to get some ferns.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, you got to have some ferns.
2 ferns,
a couple
right?
of ferns. Yeah. Hey, today the verse I've got picked out for us, or scripture reading, is John chapter 4. I'm not going to read the whole thing, actually just the first half. But John chapter 4 contains 2 pretty famous stories. The lion's share of it is Jesus and the woman at the well in Samaria.
Oh yeah.
And then the second little bit of it is that when Jesus heals the official's son, and both of those are pretty big deals there. But if you remember, I'll just kind of sum up. If you remember, the issue is Samaria was this region in Israel where when Israel was conquered and they were taken all into captivity, some of the Jews got left behind,
right?
And they intermarried. And so the purebred Jews, so to speak, really looked down on these people because they were only half Jewish. And so that was Samaria. They called them Samaritans. That was Samaria. And so the Jews would avoid it. They would walk around Samaria.
Okay.
They wouldn't walk through it, even though that was the shortest distance. They wouldn't walk through Samaria. They'd walk all the way around it. So there's a big racial problem, really, is what it was. They were just racists about the whole deal. But so here Jesus
is... that's not a new
no,
that's not a new thing.
Yeah, racism's not... We didn't invent that.
We didn't invent that.
We didn't invent it.
We like to think we did.
Go figure. If you've ever traveled anywhere else in the world...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole different deal. I just remember in China, we'd be walking around, be in China, and you hear them go, "Hai Siren, Hai Siren, Hai Siren, Hai Siren." White people.
Really?
Yeah, white people. Hai Siren, Hai Siren.
I went to France and they didn't care for me much over there.
Did they not?
France. No.
You might could blend in though. You might.
I did in Ireland and England and all those places, but France, they knew right away. I was a buckaroo, I guess.
American.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, Jesus didn't care. He went right there, and so he goes to he's at the well here, and the Samaritan woman comes, and she's coming in the middle of the day. So that tells you something right there, because that's not when people went to draw water. They would draw it first thing in the morning.
She was waiting.
She's there at an odd time. And so Jesus kind of gives us a clue as to why that is later, because he's talking to her. And in verse 16 he says, "Go call your husband and come here." And she says, "Well, I don't have a husband." And he says, "Well, you're right about that. You have no husband. You've had 5. And the man you're living with right now isn't your husband." So she probably had a bit of a reputation amongst the women, and so probably they didn't like her much. So that's why she was drawing her water at midday, because she didn't really want to be around the other women, because they probably didn't treat her very well. But Jesus says, kind of, "I don't care." So he calls her out. The interesting thing is her response to this is not, well, let's talk about that. She's like, "You guys say we're supposed to worship in Jerusalem, but our fathers say we're supposed to worship on the mountain." So she does something I think a lot of us do when we're kind of confronted by our sin, is we go, "Oh, well, let's talk about something else." So she goes right into changing the subject to talk about this theological debate, and then Jesus explains to her, "Hey, once there's going to come a time, and the time is now, when people won't worship in places; they'll worship in spirit." And she says, "Well, I know that's when the Messiah comes, and he's going to explain that to us." And he's like, "Yeah, that's me. I'm the Messiah." So Jesus overcomes some racial barriers to do evangelism, reaches out to the person that even in her own race, in her own town, they didn't like. And I just think that's a good example for us,
Oh, yeah.
The story of the gospel and spreading the gospel is more important than any of the other issues. And she asked him for a drink of water, which is yet again, a man asking for a woman, an unmarried woman that he doesn't know for water is a little risque back in the day.
I'm sure it was,
So,
yeah.
broke all those taboos to make sure that the gospel message was spread. So,
Well, and also, too, the other thing is he went to that place probably full well knowing that there was issues there.
oh, I'm sure he went there intentionally.
He went right into the middle of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm sure his disciples were shocked and appalled that he was going there.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
they come back and he's talking to this woman. And,
Yeah.
man, this guy, this Jesus.
Jesus.
This
I'll tell you
Jesus.
what.
He is just busting it all out. Well, that's our verse for the day. We'll move on to some other topics. But before we do that, I want to thank our studio sponsor, the Resource Center, and welcome a new sponsor to K-ROG, Sportsland Pickup Covers. We have their lovely logo right over here, and we're glad to have them as part of a regular sponsor of K-ROG.
That's awesome.
So, I have a Sportsland pickup cover.
I need to get a sports.
You do.
Pickup
They're
cover.
pretty awesome. And I'll tell you something. This was really cool. I think probably I got to yanking a little too hard on mine one time, and I popped a couple rivets out. And I drove it by the other day, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's under warranty," and they fixed it just right there on the spot.
Really?
Yep. Took good care of me.
They bop you on the hand and say,
No, they were actually very kind about it.
easy
They were
on
very,
your-
very kind about all that, but fixed it right up. And the really neat thing that everybody gets jealous of in my truck are the swing.
Yes,
cases.
I like those. I
They're
like
pretty
those.
sweet.
You have two. You have two of them.
I have
don't
two.
you?
I have one on each side. So you open up the tailgate, and you pull a little lever, and they swing out.
And they kind of sit over the wheel well
They sit
too,
over-
right? And then you kind of have a.
Yep. And there's a little tray in there. There's a couple different compartments, and they lock, so you can lock them
Yeah.
up. So you can lock the swing cases, you can lock the truck, and it's all locked up in there. But they're a pretty handy way to have a little extra storage.
You got all the cool toys. Will.
I try. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, I made some other notes, and I don't remember what they were, but there were some things that we could talk about today. What were they?
Let's see. Well, we got as far as in town
Yep.
this week, we got First Friday coming up here, and then you have.
Oh, there's that man camp thing.
You got
That's
man
like
camp.
I'm spending like all my time
That's
on
right.
now.
You got man camp, so it's a busy weekend here.
It is
in
busy.
town. I think First Friday has a chili cook-off and probably bounce house for the kids, and who knows what else. And then Storytime Coffee will be peddling their wares.
Yes,
at that.
got my story time coffee right here.
What is man camp?
So man camp. All right. So I got this idea probably way back in this. Actually, maybe been a year ago. So our church, Fellowship Bible Church, we've got 40 acres. Part of it's open, part of it's wooded, and all that. And we built a pavilion back over there. And we have some events, but we had been talking about we just need to make a lot better use of that. A lot
Right.
better use of that than have a man camp.
Oh yeah,
And so, if you're old enough like me, then you remember back in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, there was a movement, a men's Christian movement called Promise Keepers.
Promise Keepers. I
And
remember
so, that football coach out of Colorado, I can't remember his name right now, probably Bill something.
that. Yeah. Probably Bill something.
Probably Bill something. I'm almost positive it was, but I can't think of his full name right now. But he started this, and so they started packing football stadiums full of men
I remember that.
and doing gospel presentations and just teaching men how to be better Christian men and follow Jesus better. And that died out, as all things do. But I just remember that being such a powerful event and so many men being affected and making such a big difference kind of nationwide. I liked the model. I liked the model of having a couple speakers on Friday night that are very convicting, that get people that don't know Jesus to know Jesus, that get people that do know Jesus but aren't living like it to come back in line and start living a life.
That kind of catches everybody, right?
Kind of catches everybody. pretty broad appeal. But so you spend Friday night kind of getting your life on track, and then you wake up Saturday morning, hit the ground, and you got another 4 or 5 good speakers that are teaching you about how to be a great husband, how to be a great father, how to be a great employee, how to
Right.
be a great servant to the world in your church, and things like that. And so I said, I wanted to emulate that, but we've got this property. Let's make it a camp out. So instead of guys going back to hotels,
Right.
we get to camp out all night on this property. And so that's what we're doing. We got some fire pits set up.
That'd be cool.
You can come out, you can camp. And instead of having 7 speakers, we've only got 5. So Saturday, there's only 3 speakers, but there are 4 activity sessions. And so at these activity sessions, My friend Brandon Plumley is going to build an AR-15, and you can watch him build an AR-15 from the parts. We've got some people talking about homesteading and archery hunting.
That's cool.
My son Jack and Brennan Cook's son Hayden, they're going to talk about shotgun basics because they're on the national championship
right.
Wildcat trap team. So they're going to talk about shotguns. We got some people talking about personal finance.
Every year at Man Camp, you could probably do a seminar on how to build a campfire.
Yeah.
That is a dying
absolutely.
art, and I have had some friends that you go over to the house for fire pit
And
and
they can't get it going.
they can't get the stick.
Okay, you're on the schedule for next year.
Next year.
Tom Baker,
We'll learn how to build fire.
build a fire next year at Man Camp. But you know who is coming next year to Man Camp?
Yeah, you tell me.
Jace Robertson from Duck Dynasty.
I bet that'll be a hoot.
It'll be a hoot. So he's one of our keynote speakers. There's going to be an opportunity for a meet and greet, but it won't be free.
Oh,
that's my only caveat.
I gotcha.
Is that's not a effort, but there will be an opportunity. So any of our sponsors of Man Camp are going to get a meet and greet ticket for next year's Man Camp. And then there'll be an opportunity to upgrade your regular ticket to the meet and greet session.
Oh, that'll be cool.
So we're still working out some of those details with Jace's people. But the tickets next year are going to be $50.
What are they this year?
$25.
Oh, wow.
So next year they're going to be $50. Well, I found out the women's conference was charging $50, and they don't have Jace Robertson. They don't even have Missy Robertson, Jace's wife.
Yeah.
But they're charging $50. I'm like, well, heck, we can charge $50.
You can charge $50. Yeah.
And that gets us Jace Robertson. So, but if you are at Man Camp this Friday and Saturday, you're going to have an opportunity to buy your ticket for next year's Man Camp at this year's price, $25.
Oh, cool.
So, as a special incentive for anybody coming to Man Camp this year, you can get next year's ticket at half price.
So, is it just tents, or can you bring a camper?
It's not set up for a camper, really. If you'd
have to boondog it.
You could do a camper, but you'd have to probably sleep in the parking lot in your camper. But it's set up for tents. Got some people bringing hammocks and doing that type of stuff.
And this will be pretty good because you're not gonna have ticks and chiggers out. You might have a little bit,
Yep.
but you won't have too
much.
much.
Actually, because of the all the events we have over there, we've got some insect control measures out there. So it's in pretty good shape. So we're pretty excited about that. You haven't asked me about my hat yet.
I was getting there.
You were getting there?
Let's talk about Man Camp. How long we got on this one?
We're pretty much done.
All right.
Because we got to get the coffee at the Post.
Oh, that's
and
right.
And I just now got my logos
Post
up there anyway.
Well, I want to know about this pink hat of yours because it is a little. I mean, it's not as trendy as my tie-dyed, but your pink hat is.
So, yes, the pink hat. So this is October. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so I've signed up to be part of the Real Men Wear Pink campaign.
Really?
Yes. So raise money for breast cancer.
I've got pink underwear on.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't need to see that. FYI. But
No,
you didn't sign up. You didn't sign up to raise money.
Oh, I didn't.
No,
I didn't.
But you could. I mean, if you wanted to.
I probably could. Yeah.
I
need to.
If you will help me raise money for the American Cancer Society, you can go to my donation link. It's pink.willworsham.com. And that will actually take you to an American Cancer Society donation site. So here's the thing. I want to raise more money than anyone else. Of course I want to do that. But I think this pink hat should raise more money.
What does it say on there? Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is a Trump 2020 pink hat. So I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, and you could get a Biden 2020.
You could get a Biden 2020 pink hat, but I don't have a Biden. I don't know if there is a Biden 2020 pink hat.
I don't know. Is he still running?
I think so.
Okay.
I didn't look, to be honest. But I just think it would be awesome if we could make this Trump 2020 pink hat the big fundraiser in Southwest Missouri. I think that would be awesome. So help support me, raise some money for breast cancer awareness. My goal is $2,500, and we're just getting started. Today's the first day. I've got $2,400 to go. So I got $100 in the till already.
You get till the end of October.
End of October. So I got all month to do this.
So $100 a day.
$100 a day would hit my goal.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
300? No, that would get it. Yeah, that would get it. I'm not good at math.
Yeah.
I'm not good at math.
Add a zero.
All right, we got to get the coffee at the Post, but I will remind everybody this is the new Facebook rules. I don't know what that means, but the Facebook rules that were handed down on high by the great Zuckerberg start today. I don't know. Here's what's interesting.
What
I
rule?
don't know, because they're very. It's like, well, you got to be nice. I don't know. There's just this, this community standards, all that stuff. All I know is I got a warning on my account, and it was issued to me on September 25th. It's like, we're not restricting your account. We're just putting you on notice. You posted something that we didn't like, and it's like, click here to find out more. Well, it was a post from like March, and it was deleted because they took it down. I don't even know what it was. So something I did in March, Facebook didn't like, and I can't even tell what it is because they took the post down.
Well, that is awesome, because living in the land of the free and the home of the brave, we have a guy that lives in California dictating our morals for us.
Thanks,
and
Mark. If it was real law, that would be what would be called an ex post facto law,
Ex post
which
facto.
is illegal. You can't do that. But hey, this is Facebook land. He can do whatever he wants because it is a fascist state. People don't know what fascism is.
No,
That's fascism.
That is fascism.
That is fascism.
Yeah.
So Antifa, there you go. Go after Zuckerberg.
yeah, that's right. They need to.
Yeah, but they are a fascist organization.
Yeah,
in
quit
themselves.
burning down businesses.
Yeah,
and
stop it.
Yell at Zuckerberg.
Yeah, stop it. Well, we got to go have coffee, Tom. So let's sign.
We're gonna go have some coffee.
Let's sign this thing off. Keaton will be back tomorrow. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching Wildcat Morning.